Have you ever set out to keep your house clean, and after 3 days, you had already given up? Has it happened to you that you make lists, agendas, schedules, but in the end, nothing fits you? You're not the only one. Most people try to follow cleaning routines that are not made for their real life, too rigid routines, or too long, or that they simply don't fit your schedule, your energy, or your stage of life, and that's why they fail. But what if I told you that cleaning doesn't have to be a burden, or a punishment, or something that frustrates you every week? In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a cleaning routine that really works for you. A routine that adapts to your rhythm, to your house, to your reality. It doesn't matter if you live alone, if you have children, if you work a lot, if you are already retired. We can all have a system that works when we understand how to build it. And the best of all is that if you stay until the end, I will reveal to you the secret ingredient that transforms any routine into an automatic habit without effort, without fatigue, and without guilt. Because yes, it is possible to have a clean house without living exhausted. You just need a new approach, and today you're going to discover it. Has it happened to you that you clean for a whole day and the next day everything is dirty again? Or that you start the week with good intentions, but halfway through you are already tired without desire and everything returns to disorder? That's not laziness, nor lack of organization. It's that many times we are trying to continue routines that were not designed for us. Routines copied from other people, from videos, from calendars. That may seem nice, but they don't fit what we really experience at home. And here is a truth that very few tell you. The best cleaning routine is not the most perfect. It is the one that you can maintain without exhausting yourself. This video is not to tell you what day you should clean the windows or how many times you should wipe them. It's to help you build a routine that feels yours. May it give you peace. Let it take off weight instead of adding it. Let it work with you, not against you. And yes, that is possible. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve it step by step. We are going to understand what you need, how to adapt it to your rhythm, and what to do so that that routine is not broken after 3 days. Because your house can be clean, yes, but above all, you can feel balanced. Many times, when we talk about a cleaning routine, the first thing that comes to mind is an endless list of tasks with strict schedules and fixed days for each thing. But who said that works for everyone? Life is not the same for all homes. Some people have more time, others less energy. Some live alone, others with a large family. So, how is one routine for everyone going to work? The truth is that a good cleaning routine doesn't start with a list. It starts with observing your reality, what you need, what you can sustain, and most importantly, how you want to feel in your home. Therefore, instead of giving you a magic formula, today we are going to build together a structure that you can adapt to your rhythm. A routine that doesn't make you feel pressure, but relief. May it not depend on perfection, but on perseverance. The secret is to understand 3 very simple things. First, you don't need to do it all in one day. Second, you don't have to clean every corner every week. And third, order does not come from effort. It comes from habit. What we are going to do is divide your house into zones. Choose times of the day that work for you. And above all, design a routine that has air that is flexible. Because if there is no space for rest, that routine will be broken. And we don't want more frustration. We want balance. Throughout this video, I will share 10 keys that will help you build that routine. 10 simple steps that you can adapt however you want. And best of all, in the end, I'm going to reveal to you a small change in mentality that makes cleaning stop being an obligation and become something natural. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start with what you can do, and that is enough. Change 1. Start small, but start. One of the most common mistakes when we want to have a tidy and clean house is wanting to do everything at once. We want to start Monday with a perfect routine. We want everything to be clean, organized, smelling new in just one day. And what happens? We are exhausted, we get frustrated, and we abandon. Because the reality is different. The energy is not enough, time is not enough, and motivation doesn't last when everything seems too much. Therefore, the first step to creating a routine that works is to start with the minimum, for something small, but start. Just as you start a plant with the root, not with the flower. That's how it works with cleaning too. And how is that done? I chose only one thing. A, it can be making the bed every day, or leave the sink clean every night, or wipe the table after eating, nothing else. But do it every day, without fail. Let it become an automatic gesture like brushing your teeth. It doesn't matter if the rest of the house is upside down. It doesn't matter if you don't do anything else. If you stick to that little habit, you are already building your base. I give you a very real example. One woman rose to me saying she felt overwhelmed, that his house was in disarray, and he didn't know where to start. I told him, do just one thing. Make the bed every morning. That's all. At first it didn't seem like much, but he did it. And on the third day, he began to want to clean the table too. And then he folded some clothes. And without realizing it, his routine had begun to take shape. Without pressure. The benefit of this step is enormous. First, you gain confidence. It shows you that you can accomplish something. Second, your mind calms down because you know that at least one space is under control. And third, that small gesture opens the way for others because order is contagious. And when you start, even with little, the impulse comes by itself. So today, don't think about everything that needs to be done. Think of just one thing and do it every day. That, believe me, is enough to start with. Change 2. Divide your house into zones. One of the reasons why many people give up on following a cleaning routine is because they feel like they have to clean everything every day. And that is impossible. It's tiring, frustrating, and completely unnecessary. Your house doesn't get completely dirty in one day, so why should you clean it all at once? Here comes a step that can change everything. Dividing your house into zones. That means that instead of seeing your home as a whole, you are going to look at it in parts, small parts, because when you break it down, everything seems more possible. How is it done? Very simple. Imagine that your house has 5 zones: the kitchen, the bathroom, the room, the bedrooms, and hallways or entrance. You can change the names, of course, depending on what your house is like. The important thing is to separate. Then, you choose a day for each area. For example, on Mondays, the kitchen. On Tuesdays, the bathroom, and so on. And if you can't clean an area completely, that's okay. Just do what you can. But focus only on that area. Don't jump from one part to another. Don't clean everything at once. One thing per day. I give you a real example. A follower of the channel told me that she felt very tired trying to clean everything on her day off. I suggested he do this. Divide his house into zones. And as she did so, she noticed that by cleaning just one part a day, she no longer felt exhausted. Their house wasn't perfect all the time, but it was in constant care, and that made all the difference. And what is the benefit? First, you reduce stress because you no longer feel that everything is pending. You only have one thing for that day. Second, you gain focus. You clean better, faster, with fewer distractions. And third, you feel like you are in control because your house is organized by stages, not by urgency. Dividing into zones is one way to simplify, and the simpler the routine, the easier it is to maintain. Change. 3. Choose your best time of day. Each person has their own rhythm. There are those who feel more energetic in the morning. Others prefer to do their homework in the afternoon. Some even only manage to move after dinner. There is no perfect time for everyone. And that is precisely what makes many cleaning routines fail, because they are based on schedules that do not respect your way of living. Therefore, one of the most important steps to creating a routine that really works for you is choose your best time of day to clean. That moment when you feel more active, more willing, even for a few minutes. It doesn't matter if it's at 9 in the morning or 6 in the afternoon. What matters is that you feel comfortable. How is this applied in practice? Observe for 3 days what time you feel most willing. Not to clean the entire house, but to do at least one small task. It can be after breakfast, or right before watching your favorite show, or while you wait for something to cook. Find that gap in your day that already exists, and use those minutes with intention. I give you an example. A woman who wrote to me from Mexico said she tried to clean in the morning because it was the right thing to do, but he always ended up leaving everything for later. We discovered that his best time was actually after lunch, when he had coffee. He began to use those 20 minutes to tidy up a part of the house. That's all. And his routine became sustainable. The benefit of this step is enormous because when you clean at the right time for you, you do it more calmly, with more energy, and even with more pleasure. You don't feel like you're obligated, you feel like you chose that moment, and that completely changes the way you relate to cleaning. It's not about doing much, it's about doing it at the right time, yours, because when you respect your rhythm, everything flows better, and your routine finally starts to work. If this content is helping you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Here we share real, practical, and heartfelt advice so that your home is a lighter and calmer place. Hit the subscribe button, activate the bell, and join me on this path of transformation, step by step. Change. 4. Define the minimum you want to maintain every day. One of the secrets of a routine that really works is knowing that not all days are the same. There will be days when you will feel energetic, and you will clean a lot. And there will be other days when you will barely want to move. That's normal, that's human. But that's where many people get frustrated because they feel that if one day they don't do everything, they have already broken the routine, and it's not like that. Therefore, this step is key. Define what it is your minimum daily cleaning. That task or that small group of tasks that no matter what happens, you are going to try to accomplish, even if you don't do anything else. How is this done? Ask yourself, what makes me feel like the house is under control? For some people, it's leaving the sink clean. For others, it's sweeping the kitchen, or make the bed, or pick up what is out of place. It doesn't have to be much. It just has to be possible and constant. I give you an example. A woman told me that when her house was messy, what bothered her most was seeing the dirty dishes. So his daily minimum became that. Never leave dirty dishes at the end of the day. Even if he didn't clean anything else, if he achieved that, he felt at peace. Over time, that small gesture became natural, automatic, and it motivated her to do other tasks as well. And what is the benefit of having a daily minimum? First, it gives you a sense of accomplishment because you know that at least something is done. Second, it prevents clutter from accumulating. And third, it keeps your relationship with cleaning active, even on the hardest days. A realistic routine is not one that does everything. She is the one who knows how to adapt. And having a daily minimum allows you to keep moving without guilt, without pressure. Your routine doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. And starting with the minimum is more than enough. Change 5. Leave room for the unexpected. One of the main reasons why many routines fail is because they don't leave room for real life, for the days when an unexpected visitor appears, for the moment when a last-minute commitment arises, for the days when you just don't feel well. Because yes, life doesn't always follow a plan. Sometimes it gets messy, and if your routine doesn't accept that, it won't last. That is why this step is so important. Leave room for the unexpected. Don't plan your week as if everything is going to turn out perfect, because it's not going to be like that, and nothing happens. How is this done? Very simple. When organizing your weekly routine, choose a day that is freer, a day without mandatory cleaning tasks. That day will be your day of rest or recovery. What does that mean? If something was left undone during the week, you can do it that day. But if there is nothing left pending, you simply rest. That space is your support network. I give you a real example. A woman who has been following me for months told me that she got frustrated every Thursday because it was her day to clean the bathroom. But she always had to go out with her granddaughter, and by not following the routine, he felt like he was failing. I suggested moving the bathroom cleaning to another day and leaving Thursday free as a flexible day. Since then, he never felt guilty again because her routine now accompanied her instead of punishing her. And what is the benefit of this change? First, it gives you peace of mind because you know that not everything has to turn out exactly right. Second, it helps you maintain consistency in the long term. And third, it teaches you something fundamental, that taking care of the house also includes taking care of yourself. A routine that does not accept the unexpected is not a real routine. It's a pressure, but a routine that breathes, that adapts, that understands you, that can accompany you for a long time. And you deserve a routine like this. Change 6. Use visual reminders. Many times we don't follow a routine not because we don't want to, but because we simply forget. The mind is busy with so many things: family, appointments, day-to-day worries, and when the time comes to do something, we forget it, and then comes the guilt. The famous "I knew I had to do it, but it slipped my mind." Therefore, one of the simplest and most powerful resources you can use is this: create visual reminders. This change resolves forgetfulness, mental disorganization, and disconnection from what we want to build. Because when something is visible, it is easier to do it. The eye sees it, the mind registers it, and the body acts. How is it applied in practice? Very easy. You can make a small handwritten list of the day's tasks, or use a whiteboard in the kitchen, or place a piece of paper in the refrigerator. Even a soft alarm on your cell phone with a note that says, for example, "Today it's time to tidy up the room." It's not to pressure you. It is to accompany you, to remind you of what you yourself decided to take care of. I give you a real example. A woman told me that she could never keep up with her routine because she always forgot the steps. I suggested that she make a cleaning schedule on paper and tape it to the inside of the closet door. I saw him every day, and that changed everything. She began to complete her tasks little by little, and the nicest thing was that she stopped feeling lost. The direct benefit of this change is clarity, because you don't have to think too much anymore. Just follow what you see. It also gives you structure without rigidity, and above all, it connects you with your intention, with what you yourself chose for yourself and for your house. Reminders are not a control. They are a help, a gesture of affection towards yourself. Because sometimes all you need is a little push that tells you, "Come on, you can do this today." Change 7. Create an environment that invites you to clean. No one likes to clean in an environment that feels cold, dark, quiet, or uncomfortable. Because yes, the environment also influences our desire. Many times, it is not the task itself that is difficult for us, but the environment in which we try to do it. And that's why one of the most transformative steps to make your cleaning routine work is this: create an environment that motivates you to move. This change solves a very common emotional barrier, that feeling of heaviness, of reluctance, of not wanting to start. And many times the solution is not in making more effort, but in preparing the space in a different way. How to do it in practice? Before starting a task, take 2 minutes to prepare the environment. Open a window, play some soft music, or that song that cheers you up. If you like, light a scented candle, or put a drop of essential oil on a tissue. Wear comfortable clothes, and if you can, make yourself a drink, such as tea or a glass of water with lemon. It's not to distract you. It is to tell your body, this moment is to take care of ourselves. I give you a concrete example. A woman who always told me that she had a hard time cleaning her room. I suggested that he try putting on a soft music playlist and turning on a lamp with warm light before starting. A few days later, he told me that he now enjoyed it. That moment became almost therapeutic because he stopped seeing it as an obligation and began to live it as a care ritual. The benefit of this change is profound because it changes your internal disposition. You clean more calmly, with more presence. You may even start to associate that moment with something pleasant. And when that happens, the routine stops being boring. Sometimes you don't need to change what you do, just how you do it. And transforming the environment is the first step to transforming the experience. Your house deserves care, but you too. And when the environment is with you, everything becomes easier. Change 8. Involve those who live with you. One of the reasons why many women feel overloaded with home cleaning is because they believe they have to do everything alone, whether out of habit, assumed responsibility, or because they think that no one will do it as well as them. But maintaining a home shouldn't be an individual burden, especially if there are more people living in it. Therefore, one of the most important changes you can make is this: involve those who live with you. This step solves a root problem: the tiredness, the frustration, the feeling that no one helps, that everything always falls into the same hands. And although it may seem difficult at first, dividing responsibilities can completely change the dynamics of the home. How is this applied? It is not about imposing or demanding, it's about talking. to explain how you feel, to show that a house works better when everyone collaborates. If you live with a partner, children, grandchildren, look for a simple way to include them. One task per person, something that is within your reach. Sometimes even a small child can help you fold towels or put away toys. And if you live with someone older, maybe they can take care of watering the plants or keeping the entrance clean. I give you a real example. A woman told me that she always took care of the kitchen alone, until one day, instead of complaining, he decided to propose something different. Every night, one of his sons was in charge of cleaning the table, another to dry the dishes. She washed, and in less than a week, that new habit became routine. I was no longer alone. And the most beautiful thing was that coexistence also improved. The benefit of this change is enormous, because when everyone participates, everyone values order more. A sense of shared responsibility is created, and you stop feeling exhausted, because you know that you are not alone in this task. A house is not just a place, it's a team. And when that team works together with respect and collaboration, everything becomes lighter. And if this content is helping you, I have something that can take you even further. I've created a special ebook where I share the steps, habits, and strategies that really work to keep your house in order without feeling exhausted. It is a complete, clear, and designed guide for real women like you. You can get it from the link in the description of this video. If you are ready to transform your routine, this ebook is for you. Change 9. Celebrate small achievements. When we think about cleaning, we often see it as another obligation, something that has to be done, something that, even if we do it right, is rarely recognized. But here's the thing. When we don't value our own effort, we lose motivation. Therefore, an essential step for your routine to work and be maintained over time is this. Celebrate every small achievement. This change solves a silent problem. The feeling of always doing, but without seeing results, without pause, no recognition, without feeling like it was enough. And that, over time, disconnects us from the routine and from ourselves. How is this done in practice? Very simple. Every time you complete a part of your routine, recognize your effort. Take a moment to tell yourself, I did it today. It can be out loud or in your mind. It can be by writing it in a notebook or simply closing your eyes for a moment and breathing deeply with satisfaction. You don't need a party. You don't need an expensive prize. Sometimes celebrating is making yourself a quiet coffee after finishing, or sit for 5 minutes in your favorite corner, or play music that you like. The important thing is that you stop to recognize, I did this. Today I fulfilled my promise. I give you a real example. A follower wrote to me saying that she cleaned every day, but felt like it was never enough. I suggested that for a week, he write down on a piece of paper just one thing he had done that day for his house. The third day, she told me that she already felt different, that when he saw everything together, he realized how much he had done, how constant he was, and that made her feel valuable. The benefit of this step is emotional because it brings you back to your senses. It connects you to the purpose behind each task, and it helps you maintain the routine with more joy and less demand. Because taking care of the house is also taking care of yourself, and you deserve to celebrate every step you take, no matter how small it may seem. Change 10. Connect your routine with a purpose. Cleaning for the sake of cleaning is tiring. Organizing out of obligation wears you out, but when you understand why you do what you do, everything changes, your energy changes, your attitude changes. Your routine stops being just a list of tasks and becomes a way of taking care of your life. Therefore, the last step I want to share with you is this. Connect your cleaning routine with a deeper purpose. This change resolves something that we often do not know how to name, but we feel, that feeling of emptiness, that you do things out of habit, but without soul, meaningless, without knowing what value what you are doing every day has. And that's where everything becomes mechanical, exhausting, repetitive, but it doesn't have to be that way. How is this done? Take a moment to reflect. What does it mean to you to have a clean house? What does that order represent? What does it give you besides a beautiful visual space? For some people, a clean house is an act of love. For others, it is a way to bring peace, health, clarity. Find your answer. Write it if you want. Keep it in mind. Then every time you clean, remember that. I'm doing this because I want to live in a space that gives me calm. I'm tidying up because it makes me feel good to see everything in its place. I'm taking care of my kitchen because there I prepare what feeds my family. That simple gesture of reconnecting gives soul to your routine. I give you a real example. A woman who had been following me for a long time said that she felt empty cleaning. One day, he told me that his way of seeing things changed. Now, every time you wash the dishes, you think about the moments you shared with your family during that meal. And that, he says, changed his experience completely. He stopped seeing the task and started seeing the purpose. The benefit of this change is profound because it gives you motivation back, not the one that comes from duty, but the one that is born from the heart. Your routine becomes lighter, more meaningful, more yours. And when you clean with purpose, it doesn't just change your house, change your energy, change your way of living, because taking care of the home is, in the end, taking care of the soul.